Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barretons too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up of the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up of the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
A pleasant good evening, everyone. Yes, of course, the people are fed up. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Over to You, a show for the people, by the people. I hope that everybody is doing good and is having a good and productive weekend thus far. Hey, we have a lot to talk about. But before that, you know, this is a show for the people, by the people. Please, guys, perform your administrative duty and share the link, like the broadcast. Again, this is your program. All right, quick call out this evening. Winston Kilkenny, good evening. Marcia Agard, Rajim Bim, Rosie Rose Jeff, Mr. Chandrapal Mohabir, good evening. Good evening. Deborah Clark, good evening. Matthew Dennison, good evening. Good evening. Audrey Brown, Riri Garway Mingo, good evening. The Honorable Victor Ben, a pleasant good evening to you, sir. Mario Watson Montague, good evening. Darkus John, good evening. Pam Halls, Shondell Griffith, my sister, pleasant good evening to you. Sharon Griffith, good evening to you also. Miss Desiree Smart Felix, by way of New Amsterdam, Canadian based. Oh yes, Canada is not becoming a 54th state, right, Miss Desiree Smart Felix? Mary Figueroa, Canada again in the house. Victor Ben is also Canadian. Carla Madu, good. Shalom, brother. You did say shalom to me. I say shalom back to you. Welcome to the program, everybody. Welcome to the program. It's good to see everyone here. Jason McDonald, I see you, sir. Pleasant good evening to you. Marcia Agard. All right. Sister Hadesh, Petra Gordon, Jean Johnson, Danette Booker, good to see all of you. Yanette Johnson, Palawala Pride, Kenneth D. Flormont, Maryland in the house, Corinne Day, Ian Harry. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Hey, what an eventful week, huh? When have we not had an eventful week in the last maybe 6 months? You know, every week it has been something. Right? Every week it's something. All right. I remember earlier I did make a statement on one of my programs saying that there is a chance that it can just be the opposition party that is the opposition parties, all these parties that are fighting for governance in Guyana, because the PPP would have been disqualified. All right. If we look at things from a legal perspective, I don't believe that we're too far from that, right? When you have the executive president, though install, all right, the holder of the highest office in the land, all right, getting together with a businessman to concoct and to defraud the Guyana Revenue Authority, that is eye-opening and mind-boggling at the same time. Okay? And I am here this evening asking the question, why is it that Irfan Ali is still sitting in that seat? Right? What has happened to our standards in Guyana? I've been saying it all the time. Where are the standards? Where does this all stop? Right? He can do this, but the normal Guyanese citizen cannot. So what is that to say? Irfan Ali, again, like I would have said earlier, as that executive that is sitting in the highest office in the land. Now, businessman reached on a luxury vehicle. He is asking you, how can he pay less taxes on a luxury vehicle? You, as the executive president, you should be providing guidance. Okay? You should not be making a decision saying, hey, you can pay 25,000 or whatever it is, 25 million, whatever it is. Right? That's not your, that does not align with your portfolio as president. The GRA is supposed to be an independent body. And Mr. Godfrey Stacia, who's in charge over there, is somebody who I have a lot of respect for. And I do hope that he was not aware of this transaction. I do hope that he had nothing to do with this transaction. Because again, it's illegal. Once again, you're disenfranchising the Guyanese. And look, you have to look at this situation and want to know, well, the same said businessman, you understand me? We have these alleged charges of gold smuggling. And when you talk about smuggling gold, that's smuggling without having to pay any taxes on it. You push out the gold, the money comes in, and it is not taxed. I can only blame the businessman to a point. Because gold just cannot exit Guyana without government knowledge. So these are things that we need to look into. And I believe that some of these issues are the reason why the PPP would have so quickly called for elections. But maybe you can push back the elections a little bit more to look at some of these issues. And maybe if investigated correctly right up the chain, they would not have a PPP party contesting the 2025 elections. I would have absolutely no problem with that, based on the atrocities that this party would have dished out to the Guyanese people over the last 5 years. I would have absolutely no problem with it. Now, I would have, in going through Facebook and going through my stuff, the ALP party and their presidential candidate, the Honorable Simona Brooms, in her bid for the presidency and to represent her party as the presidential candidate. She put out a beautiful piece. You see, now, that's the way it's done. When you want to put yourself out there as a candidate, you put yourself out there. Okay, you don't just post a picture with you posing. You need strong supporting details. And the Honorable Simona Brooms, her work spoke for itself. We are all aware of our work. No questions asked. My comment on her bid for the presidency, all the best to you. All the best to you. Case closed. It was well done. It was well put together. And that's the way you do it. Okay? You don't come out as if the Guyanese citizens are nothing. Like if they don't want to know anything. You want their vote. So you have to sell yourself. All right? Look, the things you do today determines your tomorrow. That is why people need to think about what they're doing. Whenever you're engaged in something, you make sure that you're doing it correct and there would be no legal ramifications after. Okay? Be clean, especially when you want to go dabble in politics. Okay? Because when you want to go and dabble in politics, all your laundry has to come out. Okay? Everything has to come to the forefront. That's just warning. All right. One more quick thing. I don't want to sound like if I'm beating up Mohammed, because that's what a lot of people believe. But remember, the only way I know how to do things is to do it correct. Right? You're excelling, I'm going to give you your credit. You're messing up or you're not giving the people enough information, I'm going to tell you about it. Now, I would have heard that the Mohammed's party, or well, that party is not even fully developed yet. You don't know who is a part of the party and who is holding what position. These kind of things need to be out there before the people can decide who they're voting for. That's why when some people are just jumping up and saying, you know, I'm voting Mohammed, you don't even know the construct of that party, but you already know where you're putting your vote. How can you? But Azruddin Mohammed was quoted as saying that he will not coalesce with the PNC, the AFC, or the WPA. All right? What does that mean? What does that mean? But I would have seen in an interview that he said he would work with the PPP for the best interest of the people. Now, the WPA, the AFC, and the PNC, those parties are predominantly African Guyanese. And you're saying that you would not coalesce with those parties, but you want to have an impact in the African Guyanese community. Make that make sense. Okay? All your advisors, you all come together and you all make that make sense. Just a simple question. I leave you guys with that. I'm finished. Case closed on that. Now we move forward. Oh, I do have some positive on that front, on the Mohammed's front also. I believe that everybody who puts together a party should be allowed to contest this 2025 elections. No one should be exempt. No one should be exempt. We are a representational democracy in Guyana. Nobody should be exempt. Okay, Claudette Singh and GCOM, no one should be exempt. And what does that bring me back to? Now, the same Mohammed's party and some of those other small parties are getting some issues with GCOM, wanting to accept those parties into the fold. When individuals like Rhonda Lane, and Rhonda Lane, if you're here tonight, a pleasant good evening to you, and others was at the front protesting GCOM, right? For them to be democratic, for them to be fair, for a new voters list, for biometrics. All of you individuals that are now following the Mohammed's parties, you are home sitting. You see why it is so important for you guys to participate in your democracy? I'm not trying to hit you guys, but I'm just trying to point out a fact here to you. Maybe if all of you guys went out there, you guys would have softened up GCOM enough that you would have had no kind of challenge now getting that party registered. But everybody stayed at home. Everybody said, that's not my fight. That's PNC fight. That's AFC fight. No, every fight belongs to everyone. Okay? All these parties have one adversary in common, and that is the PPP. So there should be no one saying that, oh, I'm not coalescing with this one, I'm not coalescing with that. There shouldn't be that. They shouldn't be that. I do like the fact of these small little parties showing up because their vision is somewhat different. And sometimes you have to tweak your vision because time would have passed. You can't keep using the same old thing over and over and over again. There are some things that are old that you will never change. But then there are some things that you got to tweak because you need to keep up with the time. All right? But I say this to all the electorate, the voters in Guyana. All right? Think before you place your ballot. Do not play identity politics. Do not play identity politics. Don't look at what people have. All right? What people have has nothing to do with the way they're going to execute in government. And a lot of these small parties, those leaders of these small parties, many of them, not all, many of them does not have the full understanding and the full context of how government actually works. They don't. So when you all are running to push people in there, you got to understand, are you willing to be patient? Or is it that I'll have to come on the program to tell you guys that, hey, you have to be patient? You know, the treasury was empty. You have to replenish the treasury. You got to start up back all the ministries and get them functioning. You have to do an audit of all those ministries before you could really kickstart them and get them functioning again. That takes time. That takes time. Pivoting back to the Guyana Elections Commission. I believe the Guyana Elections Commission would have really infringed on the democratic rights of Guyanese. And I believe that they are putting this election, this upcoming election, at great risk. All right? They are putting this upcoming elections at great risk. And essentially what that's going to lead to, right, is Guyana will become destabilized. That is what it's going to lead to. And I hope that everybody who is looking in at what this GCOM is doing is taking their notes, because what happened is that you have all these exterior officials that are looking in, and you can hear crickets because they're not saying anything. But then when the people rise up, everybody's quick to jump the podium to criticize them. Look, you are talking about the democratic rights of the people. I'm sure you have democracy in your countries. So why don't the Guyanese people deserve the same? Look, this elections is critical. A lot of stuff is going to be tabled at this upcoming elections. Do I like the posture of the parties right now? Not really. What I would like to see, debates. Anil Nadalal, you was challenged live by Dr. Vincent Adams to a debate. Okay? Please, announce whether you're going to take up the challenge by Dr. Adams and you all are going to debate. The Guyanese people need such things. This is what I talk about when I talk about standards, ladies and gentlemen. All right? We need to understand the moral compass of these, the moral compasses of these politicians. We need to understand their economic compasses. All right? I would also call for a debate between Barra Jagdeo and Comrade Norton. All right? I would call for such a debate. We need to have those. Ashni Singh, You can square off with the Honorable Winston Jordan. I would sit down and grab because that's all financial there. I'll sit down and I don't want beer popcorn. I don't want beer popcorn. I'm going to either have cheese popcorn or caramel. One of the two, because that's going to be very interesting. Let's have these debates. I don't want people coming out and doing pieces and everybody's doing a piece and talking about this. No, I want you guys live. I want you guys live. So the Guyanese people can hear you. I want you guys live. Anil Nandalal, you'll have multiple debates because you like being in the news. You like to be in the news, right? You're going to also debate the Honorable Mr. Nigel Hughes, okay? On legal matters. Or you could bring along a team. You could bring along a team of two. You and someone else, and y'all could debate Roysdale Ford and Nigel Hughes. We gotta have these debates. We gotta have things happening leading up to this election. Propaganda, again, Guyanese, I urge you to support me on this. Do not allow propaganda to sit a government in your country again. Do not. Priyamani Chan, I would love to see you and Dr. David Hines and you and the Honorable Coretta McDonald square off. Okay? Because you've been horrible. You've been horrible as Minister of Education. Horrible. Quick word, horrible. Nothing else. Let's have these debates. Let's have these debates, guys. Let me see in the comments what else you guys would like to see. I wanna get you guys involved here. All right? This is a show where I want you guys to be involved because you guys are brilliant. All right? I don't want your comments to go awry and I'm looking at it when the program is finished. Bring the comments now. Yes, Mr. Oren Barker. I see your comment, Oren Baker. I see your comment, and yes, frustration all the way. Oren is very frustrated with Claudette Singh, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. She is stripping Guyanese naked of their democratic right. And it's not going to happen again. You know why this cannot happen again? Because it shows that Claudette Singh does not have a conscience. No, again, I've said this a million times. We have 53% of Guyanese living below the poverty line. Don't that open up your eyes, Claudette Singh? Don't that send a message to you like, this is not adding up. It's not right. Matriculation rate, 24%. What did the PPP inherit from the coalition? A matriculation rate of 49%. Now with the extraction of oil and the quote-unquote fastest growing economy, you should move that 49%. Let's round it to 50 and done. That should be somewhere around 75% trying to head for 80%. Because you would have facilitated building out programs to address the educational needs of Guyanese. Remember, from 1992, 93-ish, when you guys shut down free university, think about it. Think about how many people dreams PPP, not anybody else. Don't send up much apnu. Because I know Jagdio, his favorite word is apnu. When you come to your press conference, you should be talking about what you going to do for the people and not apnu. But you think you smart. You think that propaganda is going to sit you again. It ain't happening. you, the PPPC, would have shattered the dreams of thousands upon thousands of Guyanese, right? Who at that time were depending on free university. You would have shattered their dreams. Now, when we look at Guyana from an economic perspective, all right, we have enough revenue coming into the country that for the people who would have paid for university over that period of time, they can be refunded, either 100%, 80%, whatever. All right? I believe that they should be refunded. It is wrong. You guys think about yourself. All you ministers think about yourself. Think it through yourself. Any of you guys have a child that goes to North Georgetown Secondary or Cummins Large Secondary? Or your children go to QC, they go to Bishops, they go to what, St. Rose's maybe, and St. Stanislaus College? And you guys tell me if I missed any, because I was going to say the President's College. But remember, the President's College is not a PPP initiative, so they allow it to run down like everything else that is not a part of the PPPC. It's not an initiative of theirs. The highest school in the land in Guyana should have been the President's College. The PPP know what they would have done there. But let's pivot. Infrastructure. Y'all see all the highways, right? The whole lot of highways putting together and everything. But you know what I noticed? And you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I want to participate because you guys know as much as I know. Being developed, the highways and the byways are being developed. But you guys know about the issues regarding the coastline, right? What we used to call back in the days when we used to go to school, the low coastal plain, right? We had the hill and clay region, island regions, and all these kind of things they used to talk about when we were young. The low coastal plain, right? We talk about Mahaica, we talk about Pleasance, Golden Grove, Buxton, BV Triumph, all those areas along that coastline. How do you maintain that coastline? Drainage and irrigation. You guys remember back in the days when we were growing up, we had what you call trenches, right? We used to swim in them. They were clean, much cleaner. We have gotten lawless over the years. We're importing a lot of stuff. You're having a lot of plastic bottles and you're having a lot of soda cans and all this kind of stuff now going into those canals, right? Also, what you're having is a lot of lack of maintenance, right? What used to be a nice big white trench today, when I went back to Guyana as a little gutter, I was surprised. Of the negligence. And then to beat, we want to know why is it that we are experiencing flooding? Why are we experiencing flooding? Because we are not taking care of drainage and irrigation. That is lawlessness. Because the PPPC full and well know, okay, that with heavy rains, the coastline is going to flood. When you look at it, your forecast and it says heavy rains, what do? You get your rangers in place or whomever you have in place that has worked those pumps. And as soon as the rain starts falling, the pumps start kicking off. Right? When rain fall, a good 15, 25-minute shower, maybe even less than that. Main Street, Georgetown, flood. Flood. Our city, our main city in oil-producing Guyana, flood. PPP, 33 years, thereabout. 33 years. And we cannot fix these issues. 33 years, and we can't get GWI and Guyana Power and Light right. But you're asking the Guyanese people to place you back in power again. Look, much said about that. Okay, much said about that. The electorate, they need to evaluate. Okay, they need to vet and study these leaders inside out before making their determination. And one of the things that they have to understand, because here is where I have a problem. A lot of people jump out and say, what has APNU done in their 5 years? But look at what the PPP has done in these 5 years when it comes to infrastructural works. Come on, man. Let me be honest. I do not want to believe that we're done. I don't ever want to believe that we're done. We cannot be. When the APNU plus AFC was there from 2015 to 2020, was Guyana oil producing nation? Was Guyana pulling in the kind of revenue that it's been pulling in for the last 5 years? You got to ask yourself those type of questions. And then you also have to ask yourself, over this last 5 years, what has the PPPC done from a human capital perspective? Because you can't be one-dimensional as a government. You cannot be one-dimensional as a government. The number one job of government is to take care of its people, not its infrastructure, its people. Infrastructure is a part of taking care of your people, but your people have to be able to eat. How you expect to have educated children coming out of your institutions if they are, what the guy just call them? The guy call them hungry belly and all kind of thing. Or malnourished. How do you expect that? The parents have to be juggling. Who ain't got to sell newspaper on the side have to do this because cost of living is through the roof. Okay? Their incomes cannot match up to the expenses, the monthly expenses. That's why we have poverty. Has the PPP showed you guys that they have a plan to alleviate and eradicate poverty? Absolutely not. They have not shown anything. Show me something that the PPP said, hey, this is our approach. This is our vision to eradicate poverty. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on, you people. You make me angry when I see these type of things. You know, when I see these type of issues go unaddressed. These are basic human issues. For government, this is the first thing you address. But yet you got people saying, but they crossing over. Selfish. Despicably selfish. And the PNCR, APNU, PNCR, AFC, They all need to address their constitutions to make sure that when people want to make such a move, that they make it 1 year before regional and general elections. 1 year before. Because this that I'm seeing here is absolutely wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It creates a bad precedent. And if the leaders don't see it, then they're also blind. You wait until election is announced. Many of them to say that they're crossing the floor. When you would have sat down in rooms, right, and discuss your strategy with these, you know something, I'll change, with these same hypocrites, because that's what they are. If you're going to sit down and you're going to listen to the party that you're currently a part of, all their plans, and then when you're finished, you're saying that you're jumping ship somewhere else. You guys see where I'm going with this, right? Do it a year before. Comrade Norton, Comrade Hughes. Well, the WPA is tight as a knit. No defectors. Small party. But they're tight as a knit. They're tight. From leadership right down. I can tell you that. Comrade Norton, Comrade Hughes, please address your party's constitution with regards to individuals wanting to resign before elections. Okay? Even the councillors, right down, right through. 1 year prior. 1 year prior to elections. Ridiculous. You support Air Finale. You support Air Finale. Air Finale, who had those pathologists, those 3 pathologists sign non-disclosure agreements. How fair can you be? Listen, hear me here, brothers and sisters. If you're a just government, if you're a fair government, if you have nothing to worry about with regards to Adriana Young murder, if you have no ties to the hotel owners, or even if you have ties to them, your ties does not lead to illegal activities. If there is nothing there, you would allow those pathologists to come in independently, do their work, and come out on a conference, on a joint conference call, and made their findings, you understand me, available to the people of Guyana, because there's nothing to hide. You guys are going to go and try to vote these hypocrites back in again. Murder! Murder! You're all murderers. Murder! I call you murderers. Shame on you. Shame on you. And Anil Nandalal, you cannot sit there and want to be the legal counsel for GCOM. That's a conflict of interest. You should know that. Foolish. You should know that. You always come out with these idiotic things. You kill me with your idiocy, man. People of Guyana, Anil Nandalal cannot be the legal counsel for the Guyana Elections Commission. The Guyana Elections Commission is supposed to be an independent, autonomous body. They are supposed to be independent in both fact and appearance, and that they are not. And to the extent there is a new government, I must see swift movement. Not even I, we. It's not about me, it's about us. We want to see swift movement. When it comes to GCOM, we want to see reforms, strong reforms, okay? Reforms that will benefit the Guyanese people. Claudette Singh, shameful. Every case every one of your cases, there should be someone taking a look at your cases. Because this behavior that you're showing, okay, this behavior that you are showing, it cannot be something that is new. It has to be an innate behavior that you would have had all the time. No oil can buy you. Well, the oil buy you and sell you and everything else, Claudette Singh. The oil would have bought you, sold you, and everything. And I don't want to hear that you have been threatened. You is a former judge, a former sitting judge. You want us to fall for them kind of nonsense? That we're not falling for that. You've been threatened, then come out and tell the people who threatened you. You will get the necessary protections, right? You saw what happened when Azruddin Mohammed recognized that he was in trouble. You see what he did? He went amongst the people and what they have provided for him. Protection, certain protections. If those people weren't there that morning, those sports cars would have been seized by GRE. But the people were there. Claudette Singh, you saw that with your own two eyes. So that excuse ain't working anymore. We don't want to hear that. 53% in poverty, 24% matriculation rate. That's what we're looking at right now. Okay? And that's going to be on the ballot. No, I would have heard Barry Jagdeo would have come out and said something with regards to the PPP already have 300,000 votes lined up. How does Barry Jagdeo know that? Where is he gathering his statistics from? Has the 2025 elections already been rigged? That you can know that your party will get approximately 300,000 Guyanese votes? How is that possible? That's why, ladies and gentlemen, that's why, yes, Carla, I see you. The objective of the PPPC is to keep the people in poverty. Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you demonstrate power? Right? How do you demonstrate power? You demonstrate power with wealth and control. Right? Wealth and control. And that's what the PPP has. That's what the PPP has. Wealth and control. And that's why I have been talking about the economic infrastructure that was built by the PPP for the PPP. We need to penetrate that. We need to eradicate that. And we need to rebuild. We need to rebuild. We need to rebuild with equity for all ethnic groups. That's what we need to do. Okay? We need to have an equal playing field for everyone. Any large business you see, there's nobody who would jump out and say, oh, that large business is owned by Amerindian Guyanese, or that large business is owned by a Guyanese of African descent. No. No. The large outfits in Guyana is owned by Guyanese of East Indian descent and Guyanese and Chinese. That's who owns the large outfits in Guyana. Again, I ask the question, is that by a lightning flash chance? No. It is by design. It is by Barry Jagdeo's design. It is by the most racist walking human being in Guyana design. And then what he does, he speak of, oh yes, we have done so much African, done what? You know what's one of the fortes of African Guyanese? They love to be educated. You have taken away free university from them. What are you talking about? It would have disenfranchised them more than anyone else. They are the ones that likes the government jobs. What have you done? You've gotten in there and you've laid off so many. Approximately 1,500 of them. Isn't that correct? Ladies and gentlemen, these are the things that you need to be thinking about when we want to talk about elections. These are the things that should be on the ballot. Along with justice. Along with justice. When last have we seen a case where justice was handed out? Don't worry, that Linden case. That officer was not tried as yet. That officer was not tried as yet. So that's not justice. All right? That he's been charged with that murder. That's not justice yet. Charging somebody with murder is not justice. The trial have not happened as yet. When the trial has occurred and is over, and we see what justice is given, then we can talk. So let's get that correct, guys. Let's get that correct. In the case of Queen Nombakos, there has not been a trial. I have not heard of a trial as yet. That's not justice. The officer is locked away. That's not justice. Right? He cannot be out. But him being locked up, that's not justice. They may keep him locked up for 5 years, have a quick trial, and then he's out again. Now that there is not justice. Okay? That's not justice. Let's jump to Adriana Young. Where is that justice? Where's that Isaiah, Joel, and Harish Singh justice? Where's that justice? Remember these words. I will leave no stone unturned. That's a fake president. It's not Wayne Caesar. I am just regurgitating and quoting him word for word. It's not me. I didn't say that. That's what the installed president would have said. What do you guys think? Did he turn one stone at all? Did he turn one stone at all? Listen, these are the things going forward that Guyanese must not stand for. And you know what? You vote correct, I can guarantee you one thing. You're not going to experience this. I can guarantee you one thing, that you guys, what you have experienced over the last 5 years, you will not experience over the next 5 years with a new government. I can guarantee it. And you might say, Wayne, why you say you can guarantee it? I can. Because there's no government that will ever experience in Guyana that can thief like the PPP. None. These guys can fill their pockets, man, with no shame whatsoever. Yes, Anel Nandalal, you can't charge me with nothing. ERC, you can't write me no letter. You never did and you never will. You hide everything. You're a set of hypocrites. You hide everything. Non-disclosure agreement. Murder. to the pathologists, you guys should be ashamed. You should not have signed that agreement. You should not have agreed to do the autopsy. When you look at the record of Guyana and this installed government, you should not have agreed. When you look at the people in the streets crying out for justice, you should not have agreed if you knew that you would have been disingenuous to the people. Should not have done it. Non-disclosure agreement. The Guyanese people mustn't know the cause of death. Of their child. Yes, she has a mother, she has a father, she has aunts, uncles, grandparents, and everything. But you know what? We responsibility. We are, and we're not satisfied. And the PPP must sit there again. You supporters of the PPP, shame on some of you. You go there and you attack the parents of that child. Shame. You have no conscience, you have no feelings, no decorum, just like your leader. Just like your bottommost racist conversation leader. We talk about debates. Hey, Barjag, you know something? I would actually love to debate you. I would love to debate you, man. You will be chewed up and spit out. You're a grand failure to Guyana. That's what you are. They want to name the stadium Jagdeo Stadium. They put in your face some money. Shameful. Not a task for the new government. And not a task for the new government. Within your first 3 months of government, please have one Guyana removed from the Guyanese passport. There's nothing national about one Guyana. You guys have sat down and tolerated a lot of nonsense from Barjagdi on the PPP. It's going to stop. We're going to come clean as a people. We're going to put credible leaders in place. Leaders with integrity. Okay? Leaders with moral values. You guys believe that money is all and being rich is all. Like I tell you guys before, you guys better hope that that saturation of parties that's going to be in parliament is not a very wide majority. Because boy, when you guys pass legislation, make it retroactive. And then let's come in and let's do the investigations. Right? Sheriff Corporation. Yeah, I'm calling you guys out. Nobody's scared of y'all. You guys just believe that people are afraid of you guys. Nobody's scared of you guys. Woo. Nobody's scared of you guys. You get out in the street and you guys shoot up during the unrest that we had in Guyana. Who gave you all that permission? Are you guys a governmental agency? Who gave you guys that permission? With a new government, we need to evaluate all the license, all the gun license to sheriff security. All of them. All of them. And another thing that we need to address in Guyana. Why is there so many guns on the street? Where are we going? Where are our Guyanese values? Oh yeah, the United States of America have great laws, they have great values and everything, but here, the right to bear arms, We don't need that in Guyana. We don't even have 1 million people. Okay? We don't need that. Why everybody need to have a gun? Remember, Guyana have a very high suicide rate, right? People get ticked off quick. As soon as you talk, gun out. Gun out. And I know Guyanese. You pull out your gun on them and you use it. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. So, no, we need to have some strict gun control in Guyana. I'm tired of turning on and here, oh, businessman shot this person who grabbed a chain and all. You took a life for a chain? I remember that thing that happened on Stabrook Market there, where a 16-year-old grabbed a chain and he was shot and killed for that. A chain. I'm not saying what that 16-year-old has done is right. But what I'm asking everybody is a chain worth his life? Could he have been rehabilitated? Is he the way he was because of government and societal failure? You know, we have to look at things. We have to look at things. We have to interpret things. You see, we don't have proper programs in place. We don't have proper people in Guyana. Well, I wouldn't say we don't have proper people in Guyana, but the youths are not being engaged enough. Now, I have heard some things, and this, I'm going to ask you guys to help me here. I have heard some things come out from different individuals. Oh, the PNC is going to have a problem with the youths. The youths, them don't know Aubrey Norton. All right. Great point. Excellent point. Now, for us who would have grown up, you know, the end of Barnum into Hoyt and stuff like that, how did we know about the leaders? Remember, guys, we not Facebook, we not Snapchat, we not TikTok, we not X, we had YouTube, we had Google Chrome, and we had none of that stuff. So tell me, come guys, let's do some stark comparisons here. Is it that, you know, is it fair for people to come out and say that the youths don't know Aubrey Norton or don't know a lot of the older leaders? Or is it a mixed bag where you could say also the youths didn't do their homework and maybe the parties didn't send out enough representatives to engage the youths? I mean, parents' responsibility also, it's also parents' responsibility to teach and train their kids too, you know. You can't take that whole thing and just blame it on a party and say, oh, you guys supposed to go there and just engage the youths. I've seen Congress places that have many things for youths, right? Are the parents making the effort to make sure that their children get there? Is the parents having those Sunday morning breakfast with the children around the table talking to them about political issues? Because everybody needs to be a part of the democracy in Guyana. You need to understand your country's politics, right? For the youths of Guyana, for the ones that are eligible to vote, do not let people tell you, oh, look, it's PPP doing the bridge and all. No. That's taxpayers' money. You guys need to look deeper. You guys need to study both parties. Not even both parties, all the parties, because a lot of parties. Study all of them. Because here, for those of you who are eligible to vote, what you're doing with your vote, you are determining your tomorrow today. All right? You want to vote for the government that's going to leave you guys, when it's your turn to take over Guyana, with as little debt as possible. All right? You guys want to vote for the government that is people-centric. Now, what your parents would have faced over the last 23 years, plus this past 5 years, because $100,000 cash distribution to Guyanese after 5 years of extraction. Come on. Come on. And then you're going to, on top of that, you're going to tell them to use that, okay, to create generational wealth. Carlisle Madu, what am I, Deborah Clark, Marlon Thomas, Denise Booker, Cherry Jeffrey? What kind of generational wealth am I creating with 100,000 Guyana dollars? You guys help me. Fidel Albert, help me, help me. Oren Barker, y'all help me out here. Eva, Paulette Hawk Kippins, Hazel Johnson, help me out. Miss Johnson, help me out. I know you like helping me. Help me. Help me. What kind of generational wealth? Then they come out $55,000 because we care. Really? Man, here. All these different little cash grants, it's too much distribution. It's too much activity there. Right? Just aggregate everything and come out with an amount. What am I going to give the Guyanese people? Let's give them $250,000 and get it done. Let's give them $500,000 and get it done. Right? A guy like Comrade Norton, Comrade Hughes, these guys, this is what you would be seeing from them. They wouldn't be going and coming back, going and coming back, going and coming. No. No. They will sit down. They will do a complete feasibility study. And when I say feasibility study, you don't have to call in experts to do that. We can sit down and based on past history, we can do a feasibility study. Right? And we can compensate for inflation as we do the feasibility study. Right? Because $1 5 years ago may not be $1 today. $1 5 years ago may be $1.50 today. Or $1 5 years ago may be 90 cents. Depending. It all depends. Yes, Palawala Pride. Thank you. Palawala Pride is telling me that Claudette Singh, and not just telling me, it's in the comments. So she's stating to all of us that Claudette Singh cases need to be reviewed. I wouldn't like to know that anybody is placed away in the depths of hell behind the prison walls because of negligence by Claudette Singh. It's not fear. Okay? It's not fear. Maxine Monroe, I want to know what you're talking about. You're probably talking about that service, right? That they had. Yeah, it was a very touching service. I was busy working, but I was able to tune in to parts of it. And yes, kudos to Rick Ford and all the planners of that service. It was well put together. It was well done. Okay, that's one thing. That is one thing I can say about the side. You know, the holistic opposition side. Whenever they do something, it is done with grace. It is done with respect. Okay? All right? We still got a few things to clean up. Look, and I wasn't going to talk on this, but I'll just say a few words on it. Look, man, when we go out and stuff and we have our leaders present and stuff like that, let's try to behave ourselves. If you want to engage the leader on something, pass and hand your phone number or hand one of his people your phone number. Sir, I would like to talk to you personally on a few matters. All right? We don't need to get hectic. All right? I understand that everybody gets emotional. Yes, I do a lot too. But we've got to control ourselves. All right? We've got to control ourselves. You got to remember this. You remember I say that we determine our tomorrows today? All right? Now, let's say you behave in a, a crazy manner, and then next year you're called with a new government to show up at a school and speak to the students. Come on, right? We got to think. I want us to think, like I said, I want us all to think together. All right? For example, myself, guys, I have nobody in the race that I'm going to just go. You know why, right? You guys know. Because yes, it's mandatory, brothers and sisters, that I remain independent. Okay? This way, we can speak to matters with no biases. Right? No biases whatsoever. Again, I am trusting that this opposition is going to execute accordingly. All right? I am trusting that however it is, when this opposition wins the elections and get to parliament, they will all align themselves and always vote against the PPP because they have the majority. Right? I am trusting, okay, that we are going to see a lot of new laws put in place. We need to get some stricter laws in place. One of the things that I would like to target, one of the first reforms I would like to see, brothers and sisters. All right? You might say, Wayne, you always bias when it comes to accounting. Yes, because I do it every day. That Public Accounts Committee. We need to address that, brothers and sisters. Look, when somebody is spending your money, you want that person to be able to source your money. All right? You just cannot be coming back for supplementaries over and over and over again without providing to the Guyanese people a breakout of where their money would have went. It is not fair. And then what Anil Nandalal put in place as a law, he has laws that prevents citizens from having them prosecuted in any way or form for bad management of the Guyanese people's wealth. You can't have that. You see, that's the thing. The PPPC want their flour in their bake and they want it in cake too. Right? They want to have the cake in their hand and they want to eat it. We can't. Brothers and sisters, we cannot go for this anymore. All right? We have to move this nation forward. The new Demerara Bridge and those projects and all that stuff, guys, yes, the nation is moving forward infrastructurally to a point, but we all have to recognize that that infrastructural work also has major corruption tied to it. So let's not get tied up. Let's not get tied up why there is so much corruption. When you talk about nation building, it starts with human capital and it ends with human capital. That being your people. There's nothing like an educated nation. Okay? There's nothing like an educated nation. But you see, the PPPC is an autocratic government and maybe teetering a creeping dictatorship. They're not going to like, they're not going to enjoy an educated nation. Why? Because an educated nation is going to provide many voices of dissent. Okay? That's what Courtney Crum Ewing, our brother, was. He was a voice of dissent. You see what happened to him. That is what our CEO at 107.1 FM is. He's a voice of dissent. And you guys see what he would have faced. Okay? Ronald Waddle, a voice of dissent. Look what happened there. Right? Look, this is consistent with the PPPC. These are the things that Guyanese should be thinking about when they go to place their ballots. All right? Justice, fairness of government. All right? Cost of living. Right? We see the poverty, we see where the poverty line is. Education, nation building. Right? These are the type of things that needs to be on the ballot. Again, guys, tonight's program is brought to you by Benchop Consultancy, Immigration and Law. You can contact them at 917-714-1082. That's for all your immigration needs. Ladies and gentlemen, we see that there have been a lot of ICE raids and a lot of different things that's happening, but that doesn't mean that the United States of America is not issuing visas to Guyanese. They are issuing visas. So if you're looking for, going in for a visa, whether it be a 10-year multiple or whatever visa it is, please contact Benchop Consultancy. Okay? Please do. All right. I think we are starting to creep in on closing time. Right? I'll wait to hear from Lemon. Yes, another thing. Oh my goodness. Now, when we look at the electorate, let's look at the electorate, because they would have been a large, what would I say, influx of Venezuelans that would have come into Guyana over the last 3 years or so. I think the PPP was saying about 20, 25,000. Now I'm hearing numbers like 100,000. That's material. That's significant. Okay? With no vetting at all. So when Barry Jagdeo comes out and he tells you that he feels like if they have 300,000 votes already in the bag, the picture is painted, brothers and sisters, and the electoral apparatus has been rigged. Again, we got to ask ourselves, when Rhonda Lane and her team was out, they were a team of individuals where they were all there protesting. We have appealed many times here at 107.1 FM for more people to go out. We might want to ask ourselves, did we fail in that capacity? Well, time will tell. Time will tell. All right? Certain little things that I would have heard come out of the 2020 elections. Our scrutineers, got to feed them. We got to make sure that there's always somebody there watching the process, man. We can't play around with the process. And scrutineers, you got to be honest, man. All right? We got to hold our integrity together, man. We have to hold our integrity together. We have to keep our ethics, our morals in line, brothers and sisters. Stop with this money thing. Stop with this thing of collecting money and selling your souls. Stop. It's not getting you anywhere. How long is the money going to last you? It is better to sit down and to do it honestly. Listen, I'll get a little personal here. With what I do on a daily basis, there's so many opportunities to get rich. and to steal. But you can never, ever, because I told myself already, the integrity that I come into this world with, my ethics that are very, very strong, that is what I must leave this world with. I work long enough and I work hard enough, I'll make way more than anyone can offer me. That's how I look at it. All right? When you do things the right way, ladies and gentlemen, and you earn the right way, it is yours. You can take this right hand and you could stretch it over your shoulder and you could tap yourself on the back because it is you who would have earned it. All right? Let's do things the right way, guys. And don't forget, scrutineers, this is an oath to the Guyanese people. This is an oath to that party that you're working for, that you're going to do the right thing. Do the right thing. All right? And in doing your job, understand that you need to be fair. You need to be fair. Why? Because you got to think about your Mati. 53% of them living in poverty under this government. If this government is going to be voted out, let this government be voted out. I am sure that a new government will do much, much better. Allow the PPP to be voted out. Listen, I'm gonna say this tonight. There is no way that I believe that the PPP is going to win this election. How can the PPP win this election? Tell me. With all the disasters that would have happened over the last 5 years. Okay? How can the PPP win this election? The PPP has done nothing to alleviate the high cost of living, the high inflation. They have done nothing. What have they done? High health costs. The health system in Guyana is still needing. We do not have sufficient trauma units in Guyana. But yet y'all issuing guns like if guns is out of style. Sanctions, 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 brothers and sisters. Sanctions. Y'all see what happened, right? Y'all see those sanctions, right? A police officer. Him not saw. Police officer, date of birth, 1988. PPP grown. PPP homegrown. Look at him. And you have the right to arrest citizens and imprison citizens when you should be in prison. You should be in prison. You on a leave of absence. You need to go on a permanent leave of absence behind bars. That's where you need to be. And it would also be nice if you could give us some information on the rest. Barry Jagdio, I'm not putting this past you and El Nadalal A. Fernali. This thing is going to go right up the tree to all of you guys. Yes. Like what somebody was telling me, Wayne, you can't find old people pampers. You can't even find children pampers in Guyana because the PPP need pampers. They're going to the bathroom every minute. Yeah. That's how we're going to keep y'all. Y'all want to steal from people? Y'all want to disenfranchise the Guyanese people? Oh, yes. There's a man above who looks down on all of us. Oh, yes. You guys going to feel the squeeze. You think you guys are going back in government? Think again. Think again. Look at them. 2 Colombians. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. Then people want to know why they were sanctioned. I mean, why you were sanctioned? You knew what you've been doing all the time. And some of these men here, they have no jobs whatsoever. They call themselves businessmen. You're right. Cocaine businessmen. Of course, y'all are businessmen. There's going to continue to be probe. There's going to continue to be US probes. Guys, the sanctions are going to keep coming. The sanctions are going to keep coming, and people cannot get upset because, like I said, what you do today determines your tomorrow. Okay, and if these indiscretions were committed, then you have to pay a price. I don't care who you be. You have to pay the price. Any other Guyanese citizen that would have been caught doing wrongdoing would have been sent to jail or whatever the case is. Charles Ramson, you are aligned with criminals. You are aligned with criminals that are sanctioned. Should you be sanctioned too? Should you be speaking to the Guyanese people? You are the minister in charge. Imagine this. Guys, I stop in my tracks right there. This is the minister in charge of youth and sport. And people saying the youths don't know Aubrey Norton. Y'all better know Aubrey Norton and not this guy here. Y'all better go, young people, y'all better go and look up Aubrey Norton and know who Comrade Aubrey Norton is, as opposed to knowing Charles Ramson. All right? Y'all need to do y'all homework. Okay? Let's get started. Let's do some homework. All right? The guy that you're looking at in the picture, he's at, look, show me your company and I'll tell you who you are. Charles Ramson, all right. We see your company. We see your company. Is there something that you need to tell the Guyanese people? I believe that Comrade Mark Benchcop would have invited you into Brooklyn to have a cup of coffee. Maybe you should accept that invitation and let's see how smoothly it will go. Maybe, just maybe, you should accept that invitation to come down to Brooklyn and have a nice cup of coffee. Boy, it's something to be having a cup of coffee and then end up in handcuffs, boy. That when you do things right, guys, and you go on the road, you don't have to worry about anybody handcuffing you. You don't have to worry about being embarrassed. You don't have to worry about that. You can go and you can walk with your head straight up, man. This is why I'm trying to get these guys and trying to get people in Guyana to be straight up. Let's do this thing right. Look, as a born Guyanese American citizen, I'll say this. How I see the law works in the United States, I would like to see it work the same way in our great nation, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. All right? I would like to see the laws applied to everybody across the board. People have a right to have guns and stuff like that. But you see a photo like this for a presidential candidate, not good. Not good. The optics are not good. If this photo is still up on Azruddin Mohammed's page, you need to pull that down. Right? There's a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done. So I hope that this guy has good advisors and he needs to have good people around him also. Okay? He needs to have some good people who understands the law, who understands government around him. Okay, the photo up there is of Mark Kozorki. Now, Mark Kozorki was this guy, I believe he had owned or used to operate a wine bar by day into early night. And then by the time you get to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, Mark Kozorki never used to work the bar anymore. He became a bona fide phantom squad killer at night. And listen, it's not just Mark Kozorki that we see in this photo here. It's many others. And look, you have a photo here with Mark Kozorki and many of the other killers in Guyana. Well, Mark Kozorki is now deceased. Many of the other killers in Guyana standing up with who? With who? Who the PPP supporters call their God, their quote-unquote Dr. Barra Jagdeo, Dr. Death. You mean Dr. Death? The amount of blood this gentleman have on his fingers and still meandering in politics. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to clean up Guyana and throw out all the garbage. Okay? We need to clean up Guyana and throw up all the garbage that Lemon is putting up here tonight. We need to clean up and throw out. You understand me? They don't own Guyana. Listen, brothers and sisters, tonight we are establishing our position. Okay? We are establishing our position. We, the people of Guyana, owns its resources, owns everything. Anybody that is president, prime minister, or whatever high-end position, they work for us. They are a public servant. Okay? These guys ain't bigger than us. They ain't brighter than us. Okay? At least the ones present here know. We know that Comrade Nigel Hughes and Comrade Norton are brilliant men. We know this. We have no problem with their educational portfolio and their credentials. Okay? They are no fake doctors. Dr. David Hines, an authentic doctor. Dr. Vincent Adams, authentic. All right? That's what I like to see. Don't give me no fake stuff. If we can call Jagdio doctor and Irfan Ali doctor, then I should call all of you guys on this broadcast tonight doctors. Because from what I see, you guys are brilliant, highly brilliant. Nonsense. We're not, look, we are going to move this country forward. Whether the PPP and their supporters like it or not. Yes, somebody just said it. We would like to have the FBI come into Guyana. The Guyanese people need to find a way. Nigel Hughes, Royce Ford, these high-end attorneys, Dexter Todd, all these high-end attorneys. Y'all need to assist the people in finding a way of petitioning the FBI without the help of the government to come and conduct a thorough investigation as to what would have happened to young Adriana Young, to rebuild that crime scene, and let's find out exactly what would have happened, even if there is a cost attached to it. That's how serious this is. And if it doesn't happen now, and it happens with a new government, and we have a new government, we expect within the first 3 to 6 months that government will petition the FBI to come in and get this investigation done correctly. We are not going to rest until we get justice for this child, our child. We will not. Going through the comments, guys. Oh, you guys are loading it up here with the comments, man. All right. Dr. Rhonda Lane. I see that. That's well deserving. Oh, Dr. Shonda Griffith. Oh, well, everybody's starting to call themselves doctor now. All right. All right. All right. Good, good, good. You guys catch on quite quickly. Dr. Mary Figueroa. Oh, my goodness. I tell you, I started something tonight. I really started something tonight. Good evening, Colin Barnwell. Good evening. Yes. We've got to stand up for our nation. Look, if we don't stand up for Guyana, let's ask ourselves the question, who will? Who will? Anil Nandalal said that Anil Nandalal of the PPP says that under the PPP, the Guyanese people are living their best life. Where? How can they be living their best life with 53% of them living below the poverty line? The Guyanese people who are living a good life and is able to put the food on the table, it's because of the diaspora. The diaspora. We take care of our brothers and sisters back home. Not government. Government is continuously failing the people. Dr. Orrin Barker, Dr. Orrin Baker, Dr. Colin Barnwell, Dr. Keith Beresford. Oh boy, these doctors are really coming out, man. Y'all are coming out the woodworks tonight. Those names are going to stick, because I'm going to call y'all that I do go through my comments. I'm going to call you guys exactly that. But brothers and sisters, we winding down. Look, we need stronger education in Guyana. Okay? We need stronger education. As we build out our education and we educate our people, we are going to have a smarter electorate. We're going to have an electorate that is going to be challenging the status quo, meaning that they're going to be challenging these leaders of the party. They are going to be asking for more. Okay? They are going to be asking for more, and that is exactly what we need. Comrade Nigel Hughes and Comrade Aubrey Norton, Comrade David Hines, do not be too moved. You guys still have some good momentum on your side. Do not be too moved because the Guyanese people are smart. Okay? Listen, Guyanese are not looking. Look, let me say this. Guyanese are not looking for an exchange. Guyanese are looking for a change. You guys are smart. You understand what I mean? They are not looking for an exchange. They are looking for a change when it comes to government. All right? So, you guys know where to put your vote, like Colin Barnwell will say. And listen, Colin Barnwell is an upright guy. Right? He does not agree with everything that Aubrey Norton says. Okay? But when it comes down to the wire, what is Colin saying? Colin is saying, put your vote at the palm tree. Place your vote at the palm tree. Look, you have to place your vote where you know it's going to be safe. I'm not telling you where to place your vote, but I'm saying you have to place your vote where you know it's going to be safe. New parties coming into the fold, I totally agree. Like I said before, cannot keep going with the same old vision. Cannot. You got to tweak it. And these new parties bring some updated vision also to play. And I'm not saying that the PNCR is coming with an old vision. No, the PNCR is on point. Especially the rent to own. I am loving that piece. That rent to own, I love that. Because what will that do? It will put a major dent in poverty. That's what it will do. That's a major driver. Rent to own, that will be a major driver to eradicating poverty. So I love it. All right? I love it. We're moving. We are moving. A coalition is the way forward, my brother Gavin Caesar. Yes, I agree with you, Gavin. A coalition is the way forward. Look, if they don't collate before the elections, well, my expectations is that everybody work together in Parliament. Like I said, I do not mind seeing Parliament saturated with a whole lot of parties. You understand me? But they are working together on one accord with one vision. People first. People first. Okay? People first. That should be the vision. Even if there are projects to be finished up when they get into government. Put those on parcel. The Demerara Bridge is essential if that's not done as yet. That needs to get done. But let's deal with the people. Let's make our people right. Okay? Let's make our people right. We got to work with the United States of America. We got to work with ExxonMobil and all the investors. We got to work with them. There's a few guys in the opposition I want to give a call out to, like Aubrey Compton Norton, leader of the opposition. Mr. Nigel London, these guys, and Dr. Hines, you know, there's something that stands out with these three guys. Because I was thinking about, you know, who would I like to have in a conference room and Dr. Vincent Adams, who would I like to have in a conference room negotiating a contract with Exxon? Because you want to tell you something about the 4 names that I just called here. If Exxon put together a contract that is not suitable to the Guyanese people, those 4 guys there, those 4 names that I call, would stand up and tell them we cannot take this back to the people. You understand me? Those 4 men, their names that I just called, would stand up and tell Exxon we cannot take this back to our people. And that is what I want to be seeing. That is what I want to be seeing. Leaders who will put Guyana first, who would negotiate in the best interest of the people. Now, up here we have vote. Vote, vote, vote. All right. When we talk about voting, right? They say in order to win it, you got to be in it. Register, register, register. Young people, register. Get out there, make sure your name is on the voters' roll. All right? Or list. And while you're at it, you could check to see if people like Wayne Caesar and Mark Benchop and Colin Barnwell and Fidel Albert and all of us names are on there. Because you might still be seeing a Wayne Caesar, Gavin Caesar, a Denise Booker, a Marlon Thomas, and all of these people, Sister Hodesh, Hazel Johnson, Palo Walla Pride, all of you guys might still be on that list. And then when you go back a few days and you look and everything, you see that Palo Walla Pride vote PPP and she ain't even in Guyana. He or she's not even in Guyana. The cup, ladies and gentlemen, the cup is empty. It has nothing to offer you. The cup is empty. They do not have a vision to eradicate poverty. They do not have a vision of bringing proper justice to Guyanese. You understand me? This PPPC government, they want you to come running and kneeling to them. I have said it before. Anything you want in Guyana now, you have to be aligned with the PPPC. You have to be voting PPPC or there is nothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to time here. All right. It is time to close off tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining. I hope our program this evening was edifying. All right. Love you guys, love you guys, love you guys. Elections is around the corner. Let's keep our heads up. Let's have those conversations over the fence with our neighbors and in the communities. Okay, let's edify each other. All right, let's vet our leaders. Let's do this thing the right way for once. Until next Saturday, love you, love all of you. Now, over to you. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
citizens can do so peacefully, and they can. But blocking the road for hours is something that affects
Mr.
all the
Ali,
citizens.
I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
गोरी 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 कभी कभी कहीं कहीं चोरी चोरी छुप छुप के तुम मिला करो प्यारी प्यारी बातें बातें किया करो पर यूं ना मिलना किसी से कभी हमारे सिवा